This week on the Spotlight, we talked to the pride of Gary, Lloyd McClendon. You knew him as a Cub. You knew him as a Pirate. You knew him. And then we go back in time. This White Sox player was a stud, Alex Rios. He had some good times. Jordan Danks, the younger brother of John Danks. Interesting. And then, well, you'll see who this Cub is. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, it's the 29th year of the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. They have tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and more. 108th and Kedzie. Lansing Floral Shop, open 8 a.m. daily. Custom silk flowers, Bridgewater candles, great flowers, 708-474-1212. A great floral shop, Lansing Floral. You've got to get to the Black Oak at 96th and Pulaski for our next Be On TV, December 2nd, 12 noon. We'll see you there. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Dr. Sherman Clay, chiropractor. Gentle adjusting. Most insurance accepted. Massage therapy, too. Walk-ins are welcome. Call 773-324-4325. That's HEAL. Dr. Sherman Clay. You've got to get to the Wise Owl at Van Buren and Racine. Pizzas, pork sliders, Cuban sandwiches, carrot soup, elote, burgers, tacos, salads, and more. Great cocktails and great bartenders. A tremendous array at the Wise Owl, Van Buren and Racine. See you there. You've got to get to Gilhooly's for Trivia Night. This game's getting better and better. 3901 West 103rd Street on the St. Xavier campus. Friday, December 7th at 8 p.m. Music, movies, TV, sports. I'll take your requests. It's fun. They have great drinks, great food, and just a fun atmosphere. Come out and play at Gilhooly's on a Friday night. You don't have to be checking your clock all the time. Just come and play at Gilhooly's, for crying out loud. Pride of Gary, Indiana, Lloyd McClendon now manages the Pirates, and I asked him about playing at Wrigley Field when he was with the Cubs.
We certainly didn't have the opportunities to play in a major league ballpark. I think the closest thing was Block Stadium in East Chicago, and at that time we all wanted to try to get there for regionals in high school, and it certainly was a thrill, but we never had the opportunity to play in a park like Wrigley Field. No.
From your playing experiences, what did you learn about this park that you can apply as an opposing manager?
No, I think it's 2 different ballparks. When the wind's blowing out, it's a very small park. When it's cold and the wind's blowing in, it's a very big ballpark, and you probably need to, play small ball and try to get a run at a time. You can be a little bit freer when the elements turned around and it's blowing out.
Yesterday was kind of a clinic on how to handle small ball, and worked out pretty good for you.
Well, we were fortunate. Certainly our players performed well yesterday and did the job when they were called upon. And it just goes to show you, when your players play well, you look good. And if they don't play well, then you suck, and you're a dumb manager. So believe me, I'm no genius. Our players performed well and they did a good job.
Do you think that realistically, compared to huge payroll teams, you are under the microscope and you almost have to do a better job?
No, I don't believe that. We get between the lines. I don't worry about payroll and what Sosa is making, or anybody else for that matter. Our job is to go out, throw strikes, catch the ball, run the bases, and play intelligently. And I think we've proven if we do that, we can compete. Now, certainly we're not the talent that the Chicago Cubs are, the New York Mets, or Atlanta Braves, all the big market teams. We got our work cut out, but we can certainly close the gap in a lot of areas, and that's what we're trying to do.
Thanks.
Okay.
Speaking of funny, I want to give you a cheap laugh. So I went back in my old dusty archives and found a 19-year-old tape. Me talking to Dennis Lamb, who was leaving Chicago to become a Toronto Blue Jay. Then his daughter interrupted.
A situation that has been... Hillary, we're gonna get some jokes from you in just a couple minutes, okay? So you sit tight. Hillary has a joke book here, then we're going to go to that in a minute. But first, about free agency. Dennis, you and a list of 20-some other major leaguers are getting prepared to kind of test the waters, you might say. Could you talk a little bit about your decision to attempt free agency and what it might mean to you and the family?
Well, Pat, it's been 6 years, since I first came up in 1977 with the Cubs. So therefore, I'm eligible to become a free agent. And at this time, I've made a decision to go through the draft. In other words, that's what I definitely want to do.
For Northwest Sports Watch, I'm Pat Benkowski with Bill Gorley, and what better way to start our fall season by being at the Bears training camp here in Lake Forest. We start off by talking to top draft pick Jimbo Covert, who can tell us a little bit about the offensive line play in the first few weeks. Got a few exhibition games under your belt, Jim. What are your impressions?
I think I've made some good progress in the exhibition games, and I have to just get a little bit more experience. But I think once I get my experience, I should be doing pretty good then.
Pat Benkowski talking with the newest Bears wide receiver, Willie Gault, and it's been kind of a whirlwind couple of days for you, Willie. Have you had a chance to settle in and think about all that has happened to you and being in the National Football League?
Well, it's happened so fast that I haven't had really time to think about it. It's always been a dream of mine to play in the NFL, and now it's reality. So it hasn't really hit me yet, but I'm glad to be here and glad to be in Chicago, and I'm glad to be a Bear.
We'll be back with me and Belinda Carlisle's then-boyfriend in a moment. What a beard.
Where I came as a youngster to watch the Cubs. It's a thrill.
We go back again to 1983 when Buffalo Grove's Mike Marshall was dating the Go-Go's Belinda Carlisle. That bum.
We see today that your girlfriend has been able to make it to the ball game and be in the stands. A little bit about maybe some of the difficulties of having a relationship with somebody who's also in an entertainment and travel-oriented field.
Well, I think it works the other way. I think it's a lot easier. A lot of times you see in relationships where there's two opposites, people don't get along too well, whether there's jealousies or one person's out traveling or getting in the limelight. But with both of us getting the publicity and both of us pretty much in the same type of fields, the entertainment business, it works out real well, and we respect each other, and there aren't any problems.
Thanks for watching. See you next week. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Kim G. Sherman, psychotherapist, Des Plaines Wellness Center. Therapy for individuals, couples, families. Call 847-962-4849. I've known Kim for over 20 years. She is a true professional, and she will help you. Give her a call. Family Dentist, Lawrence Ferland, DDS, 109th and Kedzie, crowns, veneers, cleanings, improving your smile. They do a great job. Call 773-233-7044. Excellent work, impeccable. Call the Family Dentist, 773-233-7044. They did a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. You've got to get to Shelton Fireworks, the world's largest warehouse, off Interstate 94, exit 22B in Porter, Indiana. Row after row of the best fireworks anywhere, from the little ones to the grand finales that'll end your show. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, in addition to the 4th of July. Just get over there to Shelton Fireworks now. Then you can reload by the time summer comes. Shelton Fireworks, I-94, exit 22B in Portage. We're back in the spotlight, and we have some extra Alex Rios. So before we get too far into this, we pick up the questioning with me talking to him. One thing to wrap up this concept, if the team is having a little trouble, you hear about a manager trying some crazy joke thing to loosen up the lineup, and I heard about they put all the names in a hat, and then they pick them out like this, 1 through 9. If Robin did that, would that be amusing to you, and you think it could help?
Yeah, it does. Whenever you have a loose, you want to have a loose clubhouse. You don't want to put extra pressure on guys because by nature we have pressure on ourselves because we want to excel and we want to do so well that sometimes you put pressure on yourself. But when you have a pretty loose clubhouse, it makes things so much easier. It makes it easier to come to the field and do your duties. So. That's good that we keep it loose this way.
Final question, your pitching staff. You have some great depth starting. You got people filling in for John Danks, although he seems closer. A deep bullpen. Who impressed you so far this year that maybe you didn't know them and you found out how good they were?
Really, the whole bullpen. I believe that our bullpen is one of the top bullpens in the league. We have some young players that have performed well in such a short period of time, and that tells you a lot, that they have improved so much that they're able to compete at this level, and that's the most impressive thing, when you have to have a role like an eight inning guy or a closer. So when you're that young, it's not easy, but they have handled it so well that it's impressive.
Okay, I'm going to finish by doing you a favor and having you do me a favor. My favor to you is I'm going to try to help you market the product Cobra 2. You are Cobra 2, and you could have your logo on these new products, okay? Your favor to me, this is my 25th anniversary of my television show. Could you look into the camera and say something kind about completing 25 years?
Well, it's an achievement, and it's something that when you spend 25 years doing something, it tells you that you've been doing a great job, and it's such an achievement that it's the only thing that you can say. It's congratulations, and hopefully you have many years to come doing this.
Thank you. Maybe 15 more. I don't know, but Robin said 25 more. I said, that's a lot. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay. John Danks was left in Arizona trying to work out the kinks in his shoulder, and he's back to try to figure out what's next.
What was the biggest difference these last 2 weeks? I mean, was it just time?
Yeah, just like I said, staying the course and getting my work in each day, and we knew it was going to be a process. We knew it was going to take some time, and getting strength back in the shoulder, and everything's looking good so far.
John, do you have a target? Do you have a sense of how many, 2, 3?
I have no idea. I'm hoping to find all that out today, but I think ultimately it's based on how I'm throwing and how I'm doing. But yeah, hopefully just a couple and get back.
Do you have a target date? Do you have a target date in your mind at all?
No, I don't. I'm kind of over putting dates on things. Just whenever it's ready, it's ready. So. Like I said yesterday, I'm not going to go out there just for the sake of going out there. I want to get back whenever I know I'm ready to help the team. We'll see.
What are the areas where you're convinced that you're ready for a rehab assignment?
Say that again.
What are the areas where you're convinced that you're ready for rehab?
Everything's just better. Especially since last time you guys all saw me. It's just all coming along. Velocity's coming back, getting a feel for all the pitches, and making the ball do what I want it to do a little more consistently.
Being here today with the guys, does it make you even more anxious to get back?
Yeah, this is fun to get back and get back in the mix a little bit. It gets a little lonely out there in Arizona, so but no, it's fun to be back and hopefully we can win a few games while I'm here.
Thank you.
You got it.
And we'll be back with more in the Spotlight. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and a fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget, the Illinois Lottery too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. You've got to get to the Sock Live Binkowski Trivia, alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great game, great people. Check out the Sock. I think you'll be glad you did when you go to my trivia game every other Thursday. 8 p.m., 93rd and Roberts Road. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Papa Joe's new location, 5900 West 111th Street. Italian beef, tetrazzini, great pizza, Parmesan, ravioli, and more. All my classic choices. New location, and they can still deliver into the city. Get to Papa Joe's. We're back in the spotlight. We're talking White Sox baseball. And there's a guy I've talked to the last couple of spring trainings in Arizona who I always wished him well and said, I hope to see you at the big club late in the year. And this year it's happened, and that man is Jordan Danks. The little brother, and I say little in quotes, because he's certainly not small, at 6'4", the younger brother of John Danks, who ironically is injured this year, prohibiting their opportunity to play together. But Jordan's with the club now and has delivered a few key hits in his short time here, including a long ball that we'll talk about shortly. But anyway, Jordan Danks, a threat on the base paths, a very solid plus outfielder, and a guy who, with the big left-handed swing, could see some action late in games down the stretch and could provide some interesting pop. So we talked to the youngster and found out where he's at, being in a pennant race for real for the first time. We're back in the spotlight. We're talking White Sox pennant race, and it's got to be a great feeling to be up here and battling for meaningful games in September.
I mean, definitely. This is the most fun for all of us. You know, a close race, and obviously this being my first time up, and I'm really excited about how we're playing, and it's going to be a fun series coming down to the end.
I've talked to you a couple times in March in Arizona, and it was always about being here at this time, and it's now. And I think back to a couple of highlights, and one in particular that I can't get out of my mind is a game-winning home run that resulted in the shaving cream pie. Can you relive that one last time?
Definitely. I mean, that's a fun memory to always relive. But it's just one of those things. It's definitely the highlight of my career so far. You know, I thought when I got called up that there's no greater feeling than this. And then hitting my first home run in walk-off fashion. I mean, it was definitely, in my opinion, the highlight of my career.
Well, you're going to get called on from time to time. It might be a spot start. Might be a late inning situation, a pinch run, a pinch hit. How do you stay ready during the game?
I mean, it's just one of those things, especially when you're not starting and you're coming in late in the game, being up and getting a sweat going, and so it's almost like you've been playing the game until your number's called. But it's just been kind of up and down actually lately. Yesterday was a good chance I was coming in the game late, and then, you know, some things escalated, and then sure enough, you know, he was like, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. So, I mean, it is a bit of a roller coaster, but, you know, I'm always ready to go whenever my number's called.
I guess, if anything, it's almost like being a relief pitcher. You're never really sure, so you have to be slightly on edge.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to some of the pitchers about it the other day. I was like, you know, I kind of got the feeling, you know, how you guys feel now, because you're not sure if you're going to come in. You have the right mindset. You got to be ready at all times, and so I mean, really, you hit the nail on the head. It feels like I'm a relief pitcher right now.
A little bit about when you do get out there and the spots start. I know you move around in the outfield a little bit. Which one's your favorite spot?
You know, I'm comfortable in all three, but I'd say center field is where I love playing the most.
Well, what about in the times you've been in? Can you recall a situation where a base runner either started to make a break and you threw and they stopped in their tracks, or you actually gunned somebody down?
In the major leagues?
Yeah.
No, I haven't had an assist in the major leagues, but I mean, there's obviously when you get in the game and at this level, you know, when you got 10 times more fans in the stands than you do down in the minor leagues, your adrenaline's always going, and you know, so I'm hoping that somebody tests my arm one day and I get a chance to get the first assist, but you know, it's been fun so far.
You haven't gotten to the point where you want to kind of play around with the ball a little bit and make them try to go and then cut them down?
Oh yeah, I'm always baiting them, you know, hoping that they go sometimes, but you know, like I said, when my number's called, I'll be ready.
Tell us a little bit about your pitching staff and what impresses you about them. And there's some guys that you played with in the minors who are playing important roles.
Definitely. I mean, we were joking earlier when you know, we had, I think, 9 or so rookies in the pen at one time, and we started calling ourselves the Chicago Knights because I mean, it's pretty much all the guys that I was playing with down in Charlotte. But you know, they really impressed me. You know, we're all a bunch of young guys, but I mean, you'd think that they've been here for, you know, 5 or 6 years. That you know, the confidence that they show on the field, and you wouldn't think that they were rookies. But yeah, I mean, we got a great pitching staff as well. Nobody's afraid. Everybody's got good stuff. So it's exciting to watch.
Well, I think a lot of the fans at home might not realize all the off-season experience you have batting against major league pitching. And I mean, your brother has really, and vice versa, you've kind of trained each other in your Austin, Texas times. Tell our viewers about going up against John.
Well, I feel like that's one of the main reasons that I was, you know, a lot of times I bat better against lefties than I do righties. I obviously prefer righties, but I bat really well against lefties because you know, I get to face one of the best ones in the game in the off season, and trust me, he doesn't hold back. So.
No brother does.
No, definitely. But you know, I always joke around. I always say I have a .667 batting average off of him still. You know, I've faced him numerous times in the cage, but you know, in an actual game situation, whether it be like alumni games, high school, and everything, I've only faced him 3 times, and I'm 2 for 3. So I like to brag about it.
That's pretty good. Now, what makes you feel this? We will have more Jordan Danks on our program next week, right here on the Spotlight. You've got to get to the Black Oak at 96th and Pulaski. Besides having great food and drink, you can be on TV on my show. December 2nd, starting at 12 noon, we'll be interviewing football fans. You can do it. You could do it. Lenny Q's in the Lansing Airport. Trivia, alternate Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Daily food and drink specials. Just go to the helicopter and go about 30 yards east and you're there. 194th and Burnham. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. Trivia will be at the Sock. Alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great food, great drink, great people. Everything great. You've got to get to the Gaslight Bar and Grill. Daily food and drink specials. Taco Tuesday, fish fry Friday. Homemade burger, soup, and salad. 5130 West 95th Street in Oak Lawn. And my trivia games coming on alternate Saturdays. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music Interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place. We're back in the spotlight. It's Cub time. We're talking with LaTroy Hawkins earlier in the year. And, of course, he's been in that closer role, some ups and downs. And I asked him if the new veterans on the Cubs, including himself, would help them keep their composure down the stretch.
They're going to deal with it as well. But, good thing about baseball, you get to play 162 games. So you can't let one bad outing, play in effect with your next outing. So, but people deal with it in different ways.
Well, as far as developing mental toughness, your days with the Twins, you had a lot of different roles, and you had, great days, not so great days. You probably learned that mental toughness as a Twin, right?
No, I didn't learn it as a Twin. I learned it growing up.
Oh.
So, it had nothing to do with baseball. It just carried on to baseball. But I learned it growing up, Some things you can't control, some things you can, and when it's over, it's over. You look forward to your next start or your next pitching outing.
When we did this interview, the Reds were playing well, and the Cardinals had not gone on their incredible tear to take over the division. Incidentally, St. Louis on a pace to win 108 games this year, but amazingly, the Cubs, with the wild card opportunity, still have a great shot. LaTroy, though, stuck to the idea that he wasn't following the standings and wouldn't be for the remainder of the year, that he was more concerned with the way the Cubs played as a determining factor in how he did, how his teammates did. Worrying about what the Cubs did on the field was the key element for LaTroy.
There's a lot of good teams in, the National League and American League. But, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Well, that's a fresh philosophy. How about your lineup? Have you seen anything in your lineup that keeps you positive, that says, we got some people who can really tear it up and give us the run support we need?
Every day I look at the lineup. We got plenty of firepower. We got plenty, but we got a lot of injuries going on. And
of course, back when we did that interview, people like Sammy and a few others were nicked. The Cubs have weathered that injury storm for the most part in really good fashion, thanks to the depth of lineup that Jim Hendry provided. And LaTroy had some more thoughts, not only about veteran leadership, but the way the Cubs would play coming up.
That's definitely a good position to be in. Hopefully we get hot when they get back.
Any things that I know you're not reading the paper obviously every day, which that's an okay thing. But in the playing of the game, have you seen some teams in the National League that have surprised you with where they're at? Teams.
I don't even pay attention because I was in the American League so long. I still watch the American League. I don't even pay attention to the National League.
So when you're watching highlights and stuff, you're watching the American League?
Well, I watch the highlights too, but the highlights come and go.
Yeah.
I don't sit and watch a whole National League game. I just. I'm in the National League now, but I still got a lot of American League in me.
That's funny. Well, what about getting up and taking some rips, though?
Nope, no hitting for me.
You don't even want to think about it?
Nope, no hitting for me. My hitting days they came and went about that long.
Well, I don't know. I see some bats over there.
That's novelty.
Well, to wrap up with you, when your team is at full strength, do you feel maybe a little bit of sense of pressure? Because there was so much talk about the Cubs are going to be in the World Series this year, a lot of preseason picks, a lot of people said.
You've got to get to Moods Bar and Grill, exit 19 off Interstate 94, Portage, Indiana. I do live trivia there every other Wednesday. They have great food and drink, a very fun vibe, located in the Portage Mall in the middle of town. You got to check out Moods. Take a little road trip to the Bar and Grill. It's only 19 minutes into Indiana. Live trivia. I'll see you there. This week's show has been brought to you by the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Shop. They do it all at 108th and Kedzie. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound, saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.